What's good, y'all? Today I'm going to show y'all the trade I took during Asia session Sunday night. I banked $3,200 with this trade, and I pretty much just secured my payout balance again for these accounts. So I just got to bang out winning days now. But yeah, I'll tell y'all the trade I took, show y'all exactly why I entered and why I entered it pretty much, and the emotions I was feeling throughout. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So pretty much it was an Asia session trade, pre-market. Um, Here we have the pre-market candle, and we absolutely pump up, right? We rip up, and then we come back down and make this range right here from this low to this high, right? Create this range, and we tap into OTE. These three dots right here, or lines, I guess, are OTE, right? Optimal trade entry. If you want to have a continuation, you want to see price come down into here. It doesn't have to, but you ideally want to see it come down into here and then keep going in the direction that you want to go to, right? So seeing this OTE being hit, I also noticed that we create an SMT with ES, right? This pre-market low never gets tagged, never gets hit by NQ, but ES, it does. Let me show y'all that. It should be already marked down, I think. Yep, here it is. So ES takes out this low, while NQ fails to take it out. Seeing that makes me think that, okay, NQ is the more bullish asset, right? The more bullish one. It wants to go higher because it never took out that low. So seeing that, I just figured out, all right, where could the targets be drawn, right? What draw liquidity is going to get hit next? Obviously, you could have targeted this high all the way here, this noticeable high, but I didn't target all the way up there. Honestly, because, let me just mark it out. Honestly, because markets sold off heavy Thursday and Friday, and I was just thinking, okay, we could continue lower at any point, right? We don't have to retrace all the way up here in order to continue going lower. So what did I do? I figured out that, all right, we have unmitigated hourly gaps. We have one right here, we have one right here. So I'm going to target the 50% of this hourly gap just because price could like potentially tag this and then continue lower, right? When you see a sell-off like this aggressive, price doesn't have to go all the way back up and then come back down, right? It could do a little retracement and not hit OTE and just keep continuing lower. So that's what I was wary of. That's what I noticed, and that's why I targeted only this hourly gap and the 50% of that. So with that being my draw and that being my target, I just figured, okay, how am I gonna get to this draw? How am I gonna actually hit TP and find a good entry? So seeing this SMT, seeing this SMT at OTE, damn, that's a lot of like slang. But if y'all have any questions about like the confluences I'm using or like my strategy, just let me know in the comments. I'll go over that. But seeing that we have this fair value gap right here that I anticipated to get inversed, right? This is what I wanted to see get inversed in order for us to rip to my drawn liquidity. So seeing this actually get inversed, I entered, and then I just put my stop. I think my entry was like right here-ish. And I put my stop right underneath the inversion, and then just targeted that drawn liquidity. On top of this, like being my A plus setup, like the confluences that I really like to see, which are inversions, SMTs, and a clear draw, I noticed that we were building up this low resistance liquidity right here. As you could see, we were just generating lower highs, but not really going lower, right? Not really displacing from it. Seeing this made me extra confident on this trade because price wants to typically run this, right? And when it runs low resistance liquidity, it'll run it pretty fast. So if I'm wrong, it'll chop me out slower, go down all the way down here, and then maybe it'll come back later. But if I'm right, I'll be right pretty fast, right? As you can see, as soon as we take out this high, these highs right here, we just pump all the way to my drawn liquidity. That's why I like trading with low resistance liquidity, because price tends to move fast and take it out all within a few minutes, right? And then I put my break even point was pretty much at the high of this low resistance liquidity, because I noticed that if price wants to, take out this low resistance liquidity, tag this, and then go down, that's fine, right? That probably means that we want to go lower because we already took out two draws on liquidity, and I don't have any other reason not to go break even here, right? So this was my break even point, was the top of this low resistance liquidity, and then I just targeted it at the halfway of that hourly gap, the first one in the leg, Even though I probably could have taken it all the way over here and made like 7 bands, but you know, who really cares, right? I got my payout balance. I just need to get winning days. So, basis of this trade one more time was we create a SMT right here with ES. ES takes out this low, NQ doesn't. We tap into the OTE of this range right here. If y'all need any like guidance on OTE and how to use it, just let me know in the comments. I can make a video on it. Tap into the OTE of this range. We inverse this gap. We have low resistance liquidity resting above us, and we have a clear draw on top of us, right? 3, 4, 5 A plus confluences. So this was a trade that I was pretty confident in, honestly, and that's why I sided in a little heavier than normal, and I banged out for 3.2K. So I can't really complain. On top of that, one more thing is that I put my stop here, on right underneath the inversion, rather than like this leg or even here, right? Because mechanically you could put it under here and you wouldn't be wrong, but I put it under here because I noticed that we're generating these low resistance highs and this low resistance liquidity. So if price wants to come down, take my stop. Oops. So if price wants to come down and take my stop, we could literally take this low out, take this low out, take this low out, even take this low out before running those draws, right? We could literally take out any of these lows before taking out these low resistance liquidity. So I figured that if price wants to come out, disrespect this inversion, right, and go underneath it, close underneath it, then I'm going to get out the trade, and then I'm going to re-enter after taking out maybe one of these draws, right, one of these liquidity points, and then target it again, because I didn't want to have this big of a stop because my account probably would have got blown, right? So enter pretty heavy, not pretty heavy, but like heavier than normal, and if it were to get stopped out here, I would have waited, and then re-entered targeting those low resistance liquidity, right? Because once these low resistance liquidity gets ran, I don't want to really enter this trade. So that's why I put my stop under here, because I figured that price could potentially keep making low resistance liquidity and just keep going lower. And then once it's ready to run it, I'll enter again. That's why I entered it, or put my stop here, because I figured that if I'm wrong, I want to be wrong with the lowest amount of like drawdown, right? Because here I could still be wrong, here I could still be wrong, but I don't know, more of a discretionary thing. I don't know if that really made sense at all. Like saying it out loud really didn't make sense. Like I didn't get my message down, but yeah, I put my stop there just because. Made more of a discretionary play. Mechanically, you probably should have put it here or here, but whatever. Banged out for 2.7 R. So y'all can do the math on how much I risk. I don't really care. But yeah, this trade went a lot higher and then continued to go higher. But yeah, pretty good trade, honestly. Now I just got to bang out winning days on this account and I can get another payout. Hopefully I can make a video on that. I low-key haven't been making videos because I don't know. I just been lazy, honestly. Just be requesting payouts and not really making videos on it. But yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next video.